How about a family photo shoot where everybody grabs their smartphone and everybody strikes their favorite poses around town, around your home? You know, it can be really silly or serious. Remember, it's not about how much you spend, it's about the quality time that you share with your children and the memories you create. Hi, and welcome to Beyond the Paycheck. I'm Paula Christine. Last weekend, I had my two oldest grandchildren, Quinn and Grayson. They're 8 and 9, and I had to figure out what to do with them. And it can be expensive entertaining children. I raised 5 children, and we had to come up with creative ways to do things with them and try to do them in the least amount of cost. Because imagine everything times 5. I think if you go to the zoo, it's like, I don't know, 20 bucks a person times 5 kids. And then the adult price, you're looking at, $150, $200 just to go to the zoo. And that doesn't even account for any food or anything else that you want to do while you're there. So I've always had to be really creative about what to do with the kids. So I thought I'd do this segment on some creating memories and moments with your kids that don't break the bank. Now, I ended up taking them on a nature walk, which we looked up the different bugs that we found and the different birds. And it was kind of fun. It was neat. They got to learn a little bit about nature, and we had some fun because it was just a beautiful day. We packed a picnic basket. We had fun. It was just really an enjoyable time, and I really got to bond a little bit more with my grandsons. Some other ideas that I came up with, and I actually just seen this the other day in a movie, and I just love this idea, is movie night at home, especially now that it's getting warmer, is getting a white sheet and some sort of projector to project onto maybe you'd hang the sheet on your garage or the wall and you project a movie. And how cool is that? Pop some popcorn, let them invite some of their friends, maybe even coordinate a sleepover, but just a really cool time that would be. I'm actually going to do that this weekend myself, or not this weekend, this summer myself, get that type of setup to watch movies. Other things that I have thought about too were, art projects and crafts. Home Depot, I'm pretty sure that they still do this, where you can go to Home Depot and you can pick up a craft, or you can do the craft there, where they can actually work with some of the tools and make things. But just think about, you can do some painting. If you're really creative, you can teach them how to sculpt with clay. So you can make homemade cards, paint rocks, and throw them into the garden. It's a little bit costly, but I always did with my kids and gave them to their grandparents, is those little cement things where you put their hands in the cement and it makes a stone. That's always a really nice project. Family game night is another option. You can dust off the old game boards, grab a deck of cards, try out some new games online. Now, this is not for kids, but I guess if you have older kids, this would be fun. My girlfriend was telling me about an experience that she had just had where they bought a murder mystery online, and then everybody got their parts, and then they had to act it out to determine who the murderer was. Nobody got it right, but she said it was just a blast. So if you had like teenagers, they might enjoy doing something like that. Neighborhood scavenger hunts are always fun. Just organize with the neighbors, and that way you can incorporate other families into it and have them go from house to house looking for items. Like you could find items like a safety pin or a button or a Band-Aid. Just make it fun where they can go to the neighbors and knock on their doors and ask them for those items. Cooking and baking could be fun together too. I think it's great to always have your children start cooking as early as possible so that they can perfect it by the time they get out on their own. But I used to like to bake with the kids, like especially around Christmas time. That was one of the things that we would do when we were first married, was bake with the kids muffins and breads and give those away as Christmas gifts, because you can imagine having 5 children, how expensive Christmas was, and we didn't really have enough money to give gifts to other people who would give us gifts, like the aunts and the uncles. So we used to bake goods and give that to them for their Christmas pageant. I think giving back to your community is very important. I try to do at least 8 hours a month in community service. And I think it's important to include your children into that. So there are some charities that could use a helping hand, whether it's cleaning up a park, serving meals at a shelter, participating maybe in an event that's going on where you're, checking people in or handing out water if it's a charity run. Those are always meaningful ways to teach compassion and empathy to your children. I feed the homeless on Saturdays, and it's great to take the kids down there and help them or show them, what it's like to, what that experience is like to be homeless and to give back to those people with some food. Another idea is and I've always thought about doing this, but I never did it with the kids. At least I don't think I did. That's a lot to remember. But a backyard campout, where you transform your backyard into a camping retreat, pitch a tent, roast marshmallows over the fire, you gaze up at the stars. You can even probably download that I'm not sure what it's called, that stargazing app where you can, put your camera up to the star and it will tell you exactly what it is. Potentially you could make a game out of it. You tell ghost stories. There's a lot of fun that you can do in that backyard campout. And then how about a family photo shoot where everybody grabs their smartphone and everybody strikes their favorite poses around town, around your home. It can be really silly or serious. And then it's not too expensive. I just did it the other day. I took some of the photos off my phone at the local pharmacy, I think it was CVS. And they printed them from my phone. And that was really cool. And then you don't have to have a frame, but you can, just paste them up all over your house. So I hope that helps you with some creative ideas of what to do with your children that shouldn't break your bank account. Remember, it's not about how much you spend. It's about the quality time that you share with your children and the memories you create. So next week, I think we have on board talking a little bit more about mindset. Since I've been moving and buying that house, my mindset's been going a little bit crazy because I'm a little bit overwhelmed. And so I thought, well, I'm going to bring on an expert to help me kind of rein myself back in. So thanks for listening. I'm Paula Christine. And if you need to get a hold of me, you can reach me at paula@paulachristine.com.